Hello everyone, Ex-Bethelite here. We're out getting us some exercise. He's about to tell you guys what he thinks about everything. Nice scenic area here. Just wanted to chime in on something. I know there's discussion on the people that go to the Kingdom Halls, and they, I guess in groups, will put on a demonstration of some sort, maybe speak out during the meeting, maybe someone gets on a stage. And I have heard people state that they may do this in an even larger group at an assembly, so that you have people essentially graduating from, if you want to call it that, one person going to a meeting, Kingdom Hall, assembly, what have you, to, oh my God, I don't know what that is. That is a mole or a, that is a beaver or something. And yeah, no, I don't think he wants to be bothered, and we ain't gonna bother him. Come on. So yeah, back to what we were saying. Those things are going on, okay? And people have asked me what I think about it. My honest opinion is I would focus more so on mental health and being balanced, because I don't see a problem with someone doing a demonstration, having meetups, and different forms of activism. I don't really have a problem with activism in general. Do I have opinions on the details of different forms of activism? Sure, we all do. But this isn't one big organized business or anything like that. This is each individual member doing what he or she can. And my real focus is not on what other people are doing and what I think about what such and such did, or I don't get along with such and such a person from across the freaking world or from some state I've never even met before. I don't get into all that, because that is added stress. You already have a situation where you have come out of a cult and you decide to engage in activism, and that's fine. However, I think it is important to be balanced. I think people should focus on their mental health and well-being, in addition to activism, in the sense that you are not, let's say, involved with all kinds of activism. You got 30 people going into a Kingdom Hall or an assembly and all saying something and speaking out, going to get-togethers, doing all kinds of things. But you know, your let's say your house is literally falling apart. You know what I mean? Like, just because of mental issues or whatever the case may be. I mean, good God, you might be in a situation where things are dangerous, like your tires are about to fall off your car, or you can't walk through your house because it's so packed full of garbage and trash, or whatever the case may be, because of a mental health issue of some sort. I may spin around a little bit because my buddy here is he's just loving it, and he is everywhere. But your relationships. Again, if you're doing the activism and everything, that's fine, but you want to be balanced to where your relationships are healthy. If you and your spouse, or you and your boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever the case may be, are at each other's throats, or you come out of a cult and been out of the cult for years, and because of different issues with regards to social awkwardness, you haven't made very many friends yet. We're scaling the wall here. Or you haven't dated anyone. What I'm basically saying is, my opinion is that we should be balanced. If everyone is being balanced, then nobody is hurt by doing activism. The only thing you have to be careful of, really, well, that I know of, is with everything going on right now, and people shooting up everything, shooting up churches and whatnot, is if you go to a hall and just get up and just start, and you startle someone who is not really a J-Dub, somebody that may came right out of prison, who knows who is in there. We don't want anyone to get hurt. But outside of that, I don't really involve myself too much in being concerned about what everybody else across the country and across the world is doing. Everyone has their own conscience, and they have to deal with whatever the consequences are of their action. And I understand that JWs feel that there's just one big blob of people that are almost like a cult, kind of like they are. Everybody thinks the same and does the exact same thing. No, everybody's individual. We can all think on our own, do what we want. My only concern is that in addition to coming out of a cult, in addition to figuring out what we believe now, in addition to activism, that activism isn't really a crutch, where other parts of our life is completely falling apart. Completely falling apart. We have all kinds of different issues, mental health issues, whatever, and instead of focusing on those, using activism as the end-all, be-all, we're going to go to work and we're going to get involved with activism. I'm about to get pulled in the river here. I'm gonna have to pull him out of here because I'm not too sure about him drinking out of there. Come on, before you upset another beaver and you're gonna pull me in here. So you guys let me know what you think about it, because that's my main real concern. If you're asking me about the ex-Jehovah's Witness community at large, my main concern isn't the details of what every individual person is doing as far as their activism is concerned. My concern is mental health, people living balanced lives where you've come out of a cult, you may have gone through a divorce, you may have gone through something so traumatic as this cult has tried to take your children. Look at this. And in going through all of that, there needs to be healing. We have got to take care of ourselves to the point where after we have gotten out of that religion, at some point, if we want to, if we desire, I'm getting all in all kind of mud. I'm about to sink in. Okay. Basically, We want to get to the point where we have a healthy relationship. We're out of the cult. We now have a healthy relationship. We now have a job in some sort of a career that we want to be in. We have our living situation in order, where we have a house, apartment, condo, what have you, and it's in good order. We have transportation. We have our lives in order. I see that as more important than the type of activism. I've heard some people say, hit them from every angle. Other people say this is going to cause them to feel like they're under persecution. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. My concern is, with your opinion, or whatever the case, are you okay? You know, are you in a situation where you're depressed, suicidal? If so, that is what we want to focus on. I'm not saying don't do any activism and don't meet up at the meetups. I'm saying find a balance somewhere so that just the XJW world does not literally replace Watchtower, where you come home from work and you get on the computer to find out what such and such a person said, and get involved with what such and such a person is beefing about, and watching 100 videos and then making a couple videos and it absorb your whole life. You want it to be a part of something you went through, something that you survived, but after surviving it, you then rebuild your life. And I understand that for some people it is not as destructive as others. Some people don't have their entire family in. Some people have their entire family in. So for the people that don't have their family in, it may be a lot easier for you to heal than someone whose family's in. They no longer go to the hall, but they are constantly having to deal with JWs because they can't get away from their family. I've been in that situation. I understand the stress. I understand how it's gotten some people to the point where they're literally sick because they can't just take their family turning on them, or their husband or their wife or their girlfriend or their boyfriend turning on them because of this cult. They can't just take that and not have some extreme, results, extreme mental duress because of it. That's what we want to focus on fixing. I'd like to hear not just what such and such a person is doing as far as their activism. The whole thing at Warwick, I think was a very nice idea. I think somebody put a lot of work into that and made a nice protest. Now, I wasn't there, but I'm guessing it was a nice protest. But I would also like to hear ways in which not just we can protest, but ways in which we can heal. And he's interested over here in something. What are we interested in over here? Trying to we ain't falling in there. Yeah, in addition to what such and such is doing as far as activism, I'd like to hear what such and such doing with regards to mental health. That's something I would like to hear in addition to all those things. What are some things that I can do? You see, I like to go out and I like to walk. What are some other things that I can do? Some things that I can check on to make sure I'm mentally healthy. Because I think if we find ways to not just have a community that people can participate in, but also we have people essentially rehabilitated, healthy life, healthy relationship, not lonely, finding a way to move on from family that doesn't want anything to do with you. If we can figure out how to, different methods to use for that aim, oh man, that would be great. And activism would be activism, but you would have people in a healthy mental state involved with the activism. If people are rehabilitated and they're in a healthy mental state, then you shouldn't have to worry that they're going to do something crazy with regards to activism, because they're not in a crazy mental state. That's my point with all this, really, is if we take care of our mental health, make sure we're just not, allowing this to drive us crazy, essentially, then that may take care of everything else. Everything else we do would reflect someone that is in good mental health. I don't think I'm going through there because that looks like all mud. Looks super interesting, but it looks like it's all mud. And he's going to drag me through it. We're learning to walk here. This is a process. Let's go through it. So let me know what you think. I think that will help with regards to the activism. Make sure we're mentally healthy. If we, oh man, I'm gonna have mud everywhere. If we have a couple screws loose, then let's find out how to tighten them up. And as long as everybody is healthy mentally, we shouldn't have to worry about them doing nothing crazy. 937-789-4029 if you want to tell me some methods that you use to deal with stress and deal with things and getting your life back together. Let me know. This is ex-Wallkill Bethelite. Marcus signing out. My buddy's signing out here too. Let's see if he lets me hit the button without dragging me.